For pretty much my entire life, I always treated my room, even my dorm room in college, the same way a mental institution treats a padded cell. It looks like I was trapped in solitary confinement. Like, I have no doubt in college when someone would come over, they probably thought I was about to kill them because it looked like Dexter's Kill Zones. It was just sterile, white walls, and nothing else. Just a mattress and a computer. Or in my, home, my room at home, it was a mattress, a computer, and a TV, as well as an Xbox 360. Like, my shit looked like the place Squidward went to be all alone. And I kept it that way all the way up until 6 or 7 years ago. That's when I finally decided, let's breathe some life into here so it stops looking so concerning. And at that point, the dam broke, and it just became a flood of filling my room with things that mean something to me. It's like a classic scene out of a musical where it's in black and white, and then all of a sudden something really uplifting and cheerful happens, and then it's filled with color. That's what happened the second I started putting a few things in my room. And now, it's undergone an intense metamorphosis over the last couple of months. It's been nearly 2 years on the dot since I allowed you entry into my Sistine Chapel. And it has completely changed since that first time you came into my chocolate factory. I burnt this motherfucker to the ground so that a phoenix could rise from its ashes. I redid my entire dojo here. My domain expansion has completely changed, and I said I'd give you a little tour when it was close to done, and we're getting to that point. So, let me take you on a little walkthrough here. I already gave you a little sneak peek at my bussy 2 months ago when I was trying to explain why my room was emptying out faster than a Joker 2 auditorium after the first musical hits. And that was kind of like the 3-day early access to a new video game release. Now, it is entered into its final form. Here's my closet, which you saw a little bit of in the last video, but now I've completed it. I've got some of my Warhammer armies in there, and I've got boxes on boxes of sealed Magic the Gathering product and One Piece. I stack those boxes by the kilo like I'm smuggling coke. I turned this closet into basically a fucking panic room for dweebs. It's like if John Wick was a nerd. So that frame was all first edition Gladiator Assault pulls. Now, every box in here is sealed except for a couple Magic boxes like that Visions one you just saw there. The reason some of them aren't sealed like Visions is because I only had one of them and we opened it and played with the cards on the skill check channel. But it's every Magic the Gathering box ever printed, save for a few that I have in the case outside of this closet, which you'll see in a moment. As for the Warhammer minis, no, I didn't paint them myself. I don't have the talent for it, but it's not for a lack of trying. I purchased so many art supplies, I got Bob Ross smiling down on me from heaven. I'm better off just donating all of that to the zoos that have elephants paint with their trunks. They'll do a better job than I ever would. Now, outside of the closet, not much has changed with this display case. I still have the Yu-Gi-Oh! First Ed OG cards displayed there, Legend of Blue Eyes, Metal Raiders, etc., as well as the Pokemon base set First Edition Shadowless display there as well. It's the Declaration of Independence, and I'm sure you recognize the importance of it, so I hope you've got a hand over your chest right now and saying the Pledge of fucking Allegiance looking at this absolutely breathtaking display. Underneath that, we have this drop-dead gorgeous display. This is what your girlfriend's thinking about when the two of you are having sex. Not a whole lot has changed here. It's more sealed product, but I did add an antiquities box to the Magic the Gathering section there. That was a very hard bastard to track down, but thanks to Pay Money Wubby's help, we were able to get the UAV online and find it. Then it's the Gold Star Pokemon collection, as well as all the First Ed boxes I opened on stream, some One Piece manga rares, some of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards as well. Of course, I still got the Duel Knights trophy there that I earned for being the best duelist on the East Coast. Even got my copy of Forbidden Memories for the PlayStation that I played the shit out of when I was a kid. Got some sealed Magic starters, Unlimited Beta and Alpha. Surely there's a Black Lotus waiting for me in that Alpha, just wanting to be uncaged from that fucking sarcophagus. And then we also have the opened Alpha that we did for a video last year. Right next to that, we have the GamerSupps claw machine with an Eldari Wraith on top of it. This is now fully operational and integrated into my streams, so if you come to my streams, which you absolutely should because it's guaranteed to make you more attractive in the first place, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't come to every stream I do. And once in the stream, you can join a Discord. It's an open Discord, and you'll get entered into a random queue. And when it's your turn, you'll get pinged, you'll get access to the webcam, and you can play the claw remotely, and whatever you win, we'll send you in real life. So the stuffed Charlies have tags on them that range from, like, GamerSupps Goof Juice to Cheeky Soap, to Galaxy phones, to Xbox, PlayStation, Starforge PC, all that, the kit and caboodle. It's completely free to play. You don't have to be a Twitch sub or a YouTube member. It's completely open. Just thought this was like a fun little mini game to play in the background of streams. I'll put a link to the Discord in the description of this video. Just a heads up, there's no talking in it. It's a fucking library. It's silent in there. There's no talking permissions. It's solely just to enter into the crane queue and play it. Now we get to my latest obsession, which is collecting statues, and I'm about to talk about these bitches like they're my children. So that right there was a Sauron from Prime 1 Studios. That's Sephiroth from Econ Studios. I've got my God Slap frames hung yet again, looking absolutely stunning. And here's Nameless King, Dark Souls 3, one of my favorite bosses. That's from First 4 Figures, as well as a Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition statue. Fuck the Dark Souls 2 haters, you can suck the pepperoni nipples right off my chest, still a good game. Underneath that I have a Final Fantasy section, since it's my favorite franchise. I have a Sume Art Final Fantasy 9 statue, a Cloud, a Diablos from Final Fantasy 8, and an Anima from Final Fantasy 10. Underneath that, even more Warhammer because I've become hopelessly addicted, so this is all Titans here, and I'm basically buying anything that's even remotely adjacent to Warhammer. You could slap the name Warhammer 40k on a pile of horse manure, and I'd probably be pre-ordering that shit today. And then here's all my old consoles and games that I had growing up, as well as the exact CRT TV that I grew up playing games on in the late 90s, early 2000s. It still works. I even have a PlayStation 4 hooked up to it with an adapter, and I get to watch YouTube, Netflix on it, and it is just a beautiful experience. Got some more Warhammer minis up top. That's my Grey Knights army. And this right here is a display of things that are very special to me from video games. So I have Halo Reach, Halo 3, Halo 1 and 2. Halo 2 being my first multiplayer gaming experience. Getting called gay and telling me that my mother is being fucked constantly really helped put hair on my chest. I got Majora's Mask in there, one of my favorite games of all time. Wave Race, the actual first video game I ever played. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, as well as Psychonauts, City of Heroes, my favorite game of all time, City of Heroes. We got RuneScape representation in there. That total level sign was actually made by someone who sent it to the P.O. Box. Huge shout out because I got my handle in there, Turbo Wet. I recently maxed the account, so it's a beautiful reminder of that achievement that I'm very proud of. Then we have the most important product I ever owned. A Dazzle Platinum capture card. Even just gazing upon that beauty brings a tear to my eye and a wet spot in my trousers. I mean this with no exaggeration, it changed my life. I would not be here today if not for the Dazzle Platinum capture card. It's what I filmed all of my early videos on. Without that, I'd be out on the sidewalk blowing bubbles begging for loose change. And then next to that we have Bad Company 2, which is what a ton of my early videos were, Fun Tactics. Same with Modern Warfare 2 and Gears of War, the most important game I ever played because that's the game that had me start making content in the first place. Real quick, I keep getting asked what the display cases are behind me, like what you're seeing in the video right there. They're called Maju cases. Now, I'm not sponsored or anything. In fact, I do not really like the company. I like their product, but it's a year-and-a-half wait to get anything from them. So I placed an order for some Maju cases back in October, and I was told that it wouldn't arrive until 2026. So the reason I have these, how I got them, is I just found hand-me-downs from eBay. Pretty much everything I own, I just bought secondhand from eBay. Pretty much nothing I have, I was able to actually find firsthand. So I just wanted to toss that out there. They're called Maju cases. I do like the product a lot, but you're probably better off trying to find a leprechaun's pot of gold because you just will not get sent this in any reasonable amount of time. Now next to the very sentimental component of the display, we then have more Warhammer, which is now very sentimental. So that's Titus from Weta Workshops. Titus is my favorite character in Warhammer lore. Those are all Ultramarines up there. Also, that was a Space Marine 2 Collector's Edition. Titus underneath the big one. And then in the middle, we had my Necron army that I'm still in the process of building. You also saw Magnus the Red in there. He's not part of the Necron army, but I just thought he looked cool there. That is a Doomslayer Prime 1 Studios statue. Next to him, I have some Warframe statues, an Excalibur, and a Volt. Then we have my Souls display. So that's the Demon Souls Tower Knight, Prime 1 Studios, Eileen, Bloodborne, Prime 1 Studios. Then we have Dark Souls 1, that's First 4 Figures, where he's lighting the bonfire. Elden Ring Collector's Edition for Mesmer and Malenia. And then Sekiro Collector's Edition, as well as one Etsy Bloodborne Hunter that I saw that I thought looked cool. So that's all for my Maju case displays there, my entertainment center of Maju cases. Then I have my Goof Juice fridge, as well as a StarCraft 2 Nova. And then we move into my new shelving units. So this has been the big thing. This is a custom desk plus shelves that a friend of mine named Joseph made, as well as his team. They did an unbelievable job. So a lot of it's still barren because I'm still in the process of getting things to fill it out, but I cannot wait to have this fully filled. I've shown my PC before. It's the Godslap PC from Starforge. This thing is more powerful than a neutron star, and it looks absolutely amazing because it's fucking Godslap, baby. Now, above my monitor, I have my commander decks for Magic, so these are all 8 of them, my favorite being Satoru Umezawa. I've got the nuts here. I fucking love these decks, so eventually I'll do a deck list for them on Skill Check channel. Then there's the Diamond Play button, as well as my favorite album of all time, Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory, as well as the best album of all time, The Gentleman Evolution of Tears. Over here's a work in progress. We have some of my favorite cartoons, Invader Zim, Avatar, Courage, as well as a Gundam Evo Shadow Box, RIP Gundam Evolutions, gone too soon but not forgotten. I have a Gundam Exia still sealed, as well as a Spawn bust. Then I have some more statues. This is a Hero Belief Studio Dragon Ball Z villain statue, as well as a Last Sleep Broly statue. Underneath that, we have Majin Vegeta bust, as well as a Janemba statue that I just found at the mall like 6 months ago. Then over here, we have a Prime 1 Studios Full Metal Alchemist, and then we've got Godslap, Plague Seeker, Cheeky, and Goof Juice. And that's the progress report on the room so far. It's just filled to the brim. The cup runneth over on things that are just important to me. From my favorite cartoons, to my favorite music, to my favorite games. All of it, I just wanted to be showcased in a fun, interesting way. And I really am happy with the way it's all been coming along. I think it just is so fun to be like making this museum here, basically. So yeah, I just wanted to share it with all of you and show you where it's all at. I've been saying that I'd do this over the last like month or two, so yeah, that's really about it. See ya.